Howdy folks, Doc here with Last Best Tool, and I'm wondering how you store and carry your insulated tools, your 1000-volt rated pliers, screwdrivers, cutters, etc. Now, I was watching an Electrician's U video about this, not about how to carry them, but basically the importance of them in certain cases. You know, when I've done videos on things about maybe a DIYer should use these instead of the non-insulated ones, simply because the lack of knowledge might get you in trouble, but anyway, what I realized is these have been living as if they were regular tools, and they're not. They are designed to insulate you against, up to at least 1000 volts should you happen to engage a live circuit. However, that is if this insulation is intact. And many times when you start tossing the tools around, you can compromise the handles. Now what Klein has done, it's easy to see on this guy here, you see that white. There's no white here. If you ever see white on the outside of these handles, it means there's been a compromise in the insulation and it's time to stop using these, to me, as regular insulated pliers. Maybe cut off the handles or something, put new handles on it, because the pliers are probably still going to be good, it's just this softer material. But what I decided was I better up my game as far as how I store these things and carry these things. No more just tossing them in the tool bag or the tool chest or the tool drawer, that they really need special protection. Now maybe it's overkill, but a lot of things I do are. So I'm thinking tool roll, but I'm asking you, what do you do? Do you just ignore it? Do you just toss them in with, like mines here? They both go in the bottom of the tool bag. Or do you have a special way that you kind of protect these things? And so what I've been thinking about is a tool roll designed for insulated tools, which means you got to easily be able to get them in and out, and yet provide the protection to separate them from, these pedestrian tools that get beat up. And the handles don't necessarily have to protect your life, just keep a grip on the tool. So I looked around in some of my tool bags. This is a Roaring Fire. One thing I thought of is I really like the black and orange. Not only does it match my Klein tools, the black and orange, but it also tends to signify that maybe something's going on that makes these tools special. Now, the industry standard seems to be this red and yellow. Knipex uses it, Weha uses it, Fluke uses it, and shades might vary. But that would be another option. By the way, I also need to have room for some of my other favorite tools, primarily these Weha 1000-volt rated cutters. But what I would like is to find a better tool roll. There's nothing wrong with this Roaring Fire, it's just not big enough, but I love the idea of the bright colors and the fabric and the ability to secure them, but I want an easier way to access them. So I don't know, what I was thinking is just like, what a bucket boss is, one of those little things, inserts into a 5-gallon bucket. Maybe something like that, where I isolate the tools in their own container, but still have good access. But that thing's huge. I don't know. That's what I'm on a quest to solve at the moment. But, having these, I was noticing this one's been scuffed up. And that's not a big deal, but it means I just dropped it into a tool bag. And obviously these things can get beat up. That was left out in the rain, but I worry with like a screwdriver where there's a little thinner insulation there. By the way, these are the two different ones. You can see the regular size and the slim line. I really like the slim line. They also have that see-through acetone, or acetate? Acetate, that's acetone's fingernail polish remover. But anyway, you can see the difference there. So if you happen to grab those, they are different. But anyway, tool rolls, tool buckets, I'm not sure, but I'd like to do something because I really worry about kind of compromising these things now. And if I do, I don't want to mess up and get a shock. So there we go for the question of the day. How do you store, carry, and manage your insulated tools? Do you treat them like every other tool, or do you have some special container or soft sleeves or something? Maybe like golf clubs, just drop a sock over them or something. I'm not sure. There's got to be a solution. People use these all day long, but I do know that there is concern that they do wear. They do get compromised. They do get cut, especially, you know, if you drop them. They will split the bottoms early. And as I've done in some of my tests with my frequency generator where I'm zapping these, any little tiny deviation from perfection in the handle will suddenly transmit or conduct whatever electrical charge is going from here right into your hand. So I don't want to mess around. And I don't want to have to constantly search my tool like they recommend, you know, for any imperfections. And then if I do have an imperfection, what does that mean? I don't have a testing facility like Klein does where they submerge these down into a big aquarium full of water and then run 10,000 volts through it to see if, you know, the pliers explode. That is how they test it. I've got video on that for later. But anyway, this is an interesting question because I've looked around on the internet and I haven't found a good solution. So I'm guessing a good, nice tool roll, but now which one? So that's where I'm at. Let me know your thoughts, your solutions, and your questions. And with that, Doc out.